Hello, men. We return to, what is it, Accordia? It's not Accordia.
Is
Is
it
Grigna the accordion?
Yeah, but where's he from?
He,
Norgolia, yes.
Norgolia?
I think so.
Was it? You sure? Hold on.
no, I'm
He-
pretty
he's-
sure
he's in
we'll have to scroll back. It's
Oh, I can scroll back up. Hold on.
He's from the Norgolian Empire.
He's from the Norgolian Empire.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
uh,
Norgolian Empire. Yeah, and he's in the
Grigna the
sands,
accordion, the well-known thespian of
crushing nipples.
Statecrafter.
and killing bovine people.
Oh yeah, that poor cow guy.
Known slut.
Oh
So-
well, definitely.
So,
When
yeah, I think I'm due to start, but before we do that, could you guys offer up a summary of what happened previously?
certainly, well, Grigna killed some people really infeasibly.
Yeah,
Then he
it was
went-
it was efficient, not infeasible, efficient.
Then he went to a tavern and interacted with someone.
He hooked up with a lovely lady, and then got a foot thrown at him.
And
Yes.
then he murdered a cowman, and then, curiously enough, he surrendered,
Oh yeah.
and then met the man whose advisor was in the back of the man.
He met the noble king prince.
Yeah,
Noble
King
King
Prince,
Prince, Duke,
Noble
Archon.
Emperor,
Mayor, postman. I mean, he had every title in the whole kingdom.
Duchess.
Then- And then they decided to have a bit of a scuffle. Then he failed again, then got thrown into a
Oh
dark
yes,
hole.
and then there was Agathon, the well-known advisor.
Yeah, that immediately
basically-
dies.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's basically if you take all the words and put them in a blender, and then like that sort of like meat paste.
Ah, yes.
Just- That was what we read. And then there was also some foreshadowing with an extremely gaudily described altar and the Eye of Plot.
I thought it was a flashback where some
I think
poor
it's a-
dishevelled lady
I
was
think it's
getting
actually
sacrificed.
I think it's actually a meanwhile.
Yeah,
Oh, was
I,
it meanwhile, was
I
it?
think that lady is supposed to be the tavern wench.
Really? She's having a bad day.
Yeah, I'm not sure why she suddenly went from tavern to there.
I mean, first you get your nipples crushed, and then you get sacrificed.
It's true. And now Grigna's in a fucking cell. And this apparently is the worst thing you can do to Grigna as Agathon the Wise.
Yeah, Grigna had previously like, Sire, surely we've realized this man is Grigna. We just need to lock him up somewhere. And Grigna's like, no, not
Yeah.
being locked up.
I've never seen a wall I couldn't go around. And then Agathon wisely fucking vaulted the prince and got impaled.
Oh yeah, and he just jumped onto the
And
impale.
then they were like, now who is the smartest prince? I will wait all of this time, and then I will be surrounded and stabbed. Oh.
Which is amazing.
I-
This like noble's house slash palace slash kingly estate seems to have some sort of dark, evil, soulless light dungeon in there.
Well, this is the land where accordions roam. I mean,
think,
this is
honestly,
half of the course.
It's probably just communal housing. They just like naming things weirdly.
Yeah, it could be
So-
actually.
Okay,
Who is going to start?
I shall start on
Right.
account of y'all going last. Okay.
Hmm.
All knowledge of measuring time had escaped Grigna. When a person is deprived of the sun, moon, and stars, he loses all conception of time as he had previously understood it.
Where is he loosing it?
I don't know.
he
I
he
think
loosed
is-
it on the floor.
Run, time,
he's
be
actually-
free!
He's widened his understanding of time. He is becoming a Dune navigator.
You mean
He
now
widened
has
his
a
understanding of time so much that it slipped through the cracks.
You mean
Yeah.
he now has the cracks through reality?
Yep. It seemed as if years had passed. If time was being measured by terms of misery and mental anguish, yet he estimated that his stay had only been a few days in length.
How
Yes.
is he doing? He's been in there 5 minutes and already he's gone totally mad.
I like that. Just shut the door, and after 30 seconds, he's going, ah!
It's been years since I've been in here.
Grigna is not too good at middle school math, as we'll learn. He had slept 3 times and had been fed 5 times since awakening in the crypt now. However, when the actions of a body are restricted, its needs are also affected.
Wait,
The-
is this a very tiny room as well? I mean, he
don't
could
know, I
probably
don't think-
still move.
I got the impression it was like this massive, like gaping abyss kind of room. You know, like
I
the, you
think
know, sort of like the
Grigna
black
has
hole
no
room.
sense of time, so him pacing from one side of a dark room to the other, he doesn't know how far it is.
No, it could be.
The need for nourishment and slumber are directly proportional to the functions of the
They mean
body.
nourish net.
Fuck
Yes,
me.
nourish
Yeah.
net.
Yeah, the need
sorry.
for nourish net.
For all your Grigner
Is that an
feeding
M?
needs,
Nourish
Yeah, that's
Manette.
an N.
M is
Yes, an N.
disappear-
Manette.
for all your Grigner feeding needs, use NourishNet.
Manette.
It's
Yes.
barbarian approved. Ding.
Meaning that when free and active, Grigner may become hungry every 6 hours and witness the desire for sleep every 15 hours, whereas in his present condition, he may encounter the need for food every 10 hours and the want for rest every 20 hours.
Sorry, this has turned into an instruction pamphlet for a Tamagotchi.
No, this is
How
fucking...
to feed
this
and
is
care
middle
for
school
your
math.
Grigner.
If Grigner buys 5 melons and rides at no speed, when does he arrive?
If you have a Grigner
He's
traveling at
killed
40 miles
everything.
an hour,
That's your answer. Your answer is he has killed everything.
there's a Grigner coming from the east traveling at 50 miles an hour.
Yeah. All methods he had before depended you on were extinct in the dismal pit, hence with a very, very faded H. He may have been imprisoned for 10 minutes or 10 years. Fucking
I'm
idiot.
going with the former.
If he slept 3 times, he probably hasn't been in prison for 10 minutes unless he's having a very dodgy day.
He's very
Or,
bored.
I've been fed 5 times, as in he's grabbed 5 grapes from the same plate.
He's like, oh, Jesus.
If he actually had hair growth, he would know. It's like, when did I shave?
His-
Oh, I see.
My hair never grows anywhere.
But he had not known, resulting in a disheartened emotion deep within his being. The food, if you can honor the mouldering lumps of fetid mush to that extent, was borne to him by 2 guards who opened a portal at the top of his enclosure and
Just imagine
shoved
the guard walking in, opening his legs, like, "Argh!" just dropping some food in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, just
and
a
shoved it in him with the wooden bowls, retrieving the food and water bowls from his previous meal at the same time. Wait, what?
Ow. I will just use my stretchy arm to reach in and grab the
Fucking
bowl.
Mr. Fantastic up there.
Yeah,
No, actually, what happens is he's just like, you hear him screaming wildly. It's like food, and then Gregor's like, "Oh, let me reach this one for you. Thank
Wait,
you, that's
if he
very
could-
kind of you."
If he can shove it to him, he can reach him.
He's like,
So
Ah.
it's not very high. It's far to the
This is
ceiling.
so-
What
so
the hell?
I
I don't understand.
think this space was basically designed by Nyarlathotep.
Oh no, not the stairs.
Wait, the
Anyway.
stairs?
Oh,
Wait,
No,
Where are the
Anyway.
stairs?
no, doesn't matter.
After they threw back the bolts on the iron latch and returned to their other duties, since deprived of all other means of nourishment, Grigner was impelled to eat the tainted slop in order to ward off the pangs of starvation. Though as he stuffed
That
it
sounds
into
like what
his-
you eat.
Yeah. As he stuffed it into his mouth with his filthy fingers and struggled to force it down his throat, he imagined it was that which had been spurned by the what?
Sperm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the-
the
the-
correct
by
word.
the
actually.
hound.
That's actually correct, yeah.
Stationed at various segments of the
Wait,
palace.
there are hounds now?
Well, it's now a palace again, so I guess.
Well, I
so.
guess
How
that-
does he-
they have
how does he know
hounds.
how does he know that? We didn't see any.
They might bark, bark, bark.
Ark, ark.
Imagine the guards being like, he must eat this. That might have been something that was spurned by the hounds at various segments of the palace.
Yes, the hounds do not want this food, therefore I receive it. I guess he's just making up stories to amuse himself. Fucking idiot. Someone go on. I cannot.
Do you want to go?
Sure,
Mr. Hamilton?
I'll go then, yeah.
Yeah.
There was little in the barren vault that
Bayron.
could Is it Bayron? Oh, yeah, so it is. It's a
Bayron.
yeah, there's
31.5.
this. My mistake, sorry. There was this in the Bayron vault that could occupy his body or mind. He had paced out the length and width of the enclosure time and time again, and tested every granite slab, which consisted the walls of the prison in hopes of finding a hidden passage to freedom.
I think constituted the walls of the prison would have been a better word.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be.
Consisted.
Consisted. Yeah. I think constituted. Yeah.
That's not.
All right. Well.
Also, I cannot believe that Grigner, could find anything to occupy his mind. Anything.
Well, if it consisted, I mean, if it didn't give consistency, it would fall down. So I guess.
Just slops around
Yeah,
it. Oh god.
Ugh.
Wait, so the length and width of this enclosure, so it must be reasonably sized, I guess.
I don't
Guess.
know.
I guess he just
might be-
loses track of time going from one side to the other.
Loses
even
track
though
of space as well. Soon he's going to lose track of anything.
I think he's just very dumb.
Like, is Grigner going to lose track of everything and then nullify the laws of physics and just phase through the prison wall?
Maybe
I want this to happen.
He
vibrate.
just decides it doesn't really exist in his reality and just walks through it.
I
thought
it out of existence.
Anyway, all
Yeah.
of which was to no avail other than to keep him busy and distracted, his mind from wandering to thoughts of what he believed was his future. Dude, you've been here like 3 days, man. Like, he's having a
10
breakdown.
It's not 3 days, it's 10 minutes. He's been in there
Oh
like
yeah, he
10
wasn't sure if it was 10 minutes. Yeah.
No, he doesn't know.
What the hell?
What?
I just saw a weird word. You'll get to it.
He had memorized the number of strides from one end of the other of the cell. Wait, what? From one end to the other of the. That doesn't read right. And knew the
One
exact
end
number
of-
of slabs which made up the bleak dungeon.
From one end of the cell to the other. There we go, I've corrected it for them.
No,
Wait,
don't
so
do that.
it was an enclosure, now it's a dungeon.
Now it's a very small dungeon.
Numerous schemes were introduced and alternately disregarded in turn. Discarded, sorry. In turn, as they suckled to unravel to him no means of escape which stood the slightest chance of success.
Succored. Give assistance or aid to. Verb.
Also, notice Nemorius.
Where's Nemorius?
Nemorius schemes.
Oh yes, Numorius scheme.
Oh, I read it
No,
as
it's not even
numerous.
Numorius. It's Numerous.
Yes, numerous.
It's
You're
kind
right.
of
yeah,
like
so-
Amorous, but a lot of it.
you know when your brain sees a word and just reads the correct
know.
word?
I just like the
terrible.
idea that there's suddenly a character in there called Numerous.
Yeah.
Great Numerous.
I like to
Give me
think that-
advice.
Nemorius was scheming in the corner.
I like to think that Nemorius schemes is a particular kind of schemes that is
Grigna, the
Yeah.
barbarians outnumber us 10 to 1. We must use Numerous schemes.
Yes.
No, those are the darkest of schemes, Grigna. Do you defy me, bovine warrior? No, I remember what happened to the other one.
Hail Nemorus. We must have him scheme for us.
Numerous, I do not pray
Nemorius
to
is the
you
mighty schemer.
I do not pray to you often, but but listen to me now. Please, tell me what time it is.
If not, then damn to hell with you.
Uh,
Anguish continued to mount as his means of occupation were rapidly exhausted. There's a nice gap
What the
there.
fuck?
yeah, it's
It's exhaust.
I guess he
no,
didn't
sorry,
want-
it's ex-house. Ted.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to break the line.
Oh
with
wow,
just
this
one
next
letter
line
at the
is
end.
fantastic. This next line is fantastic.
Suddenly, without no time, he was routed. It wasn't he was routed. He was routed.
He
Was
he
routed.
He was routed.
It's try to say that all one word. He was routed. I don't know.
It's maybe you gotta say it differently. It says was routed.
Was routed.
routed.
Was
routed.
Was routed.
Was routed.
I don't know. It
Also,
sounds like
So
something.
we have Numerous and Was routed. His two
I think
new
it's some sort of
companions.
way of. It's kind of a half wash, half startle. Like
Quick,
if a
quick.
dog licks you without you
Quick,
knowing.
Also-
Also,
was just going
also
mad.
outed. Yeah.
He's just going mad and making his own companions. Numerous and Was routed. I mean,
No, I got it. I got it, fams. It's was or routed.
Oh,
Was
okay.
routed.
Was
Okay.
routed. Was
Yeah, was
routed.
routed.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
glad that was cleared up.
Anyway, so let's start from the beginning. Suddenly, without no time, he was routed from his contemplations as he detected a faint scratching sound at the end of the crypt. Now a crypt. Opposite him,
That is Numerous scheming.
Yeah, Nemorus
That
is
is-
scheming in the cell next to him.
he's scheming so hard he changes the crypt into a dungeon again.
Oh no.
The sound seemed to be caused by. Damn it! It says caused by.
So there is Numerous, Was
Also
routed,
routed.
and caused by. Excellent.
Caused by something trying to scrape away at the grantite or grantity.
No wonder I couldn't escape. I was thinking these were granite blocks, but
Oh,
really
shit.
they're
That's
granite.
grantite.
It is
It's
Nemorus'
like-
wife, Grantity.
She blocks the floor.
Oh no.
Nemorus, get your wife away from here. It blocks the floor of the enclosure, consisted of, comma,
Consisted of what?
the sandy scratching of something like an animal's claws.
Yeah.
I'm serious now. Grigner is just going to like wake up and nothing will exist anymore.
I guess.
Grigner gradually groped his way to the other end of the vault, carefully feeling his way along with his hands ahead of him. Wait, I thought
walking.
Grigner knew exactly how long this damn vault was.
Except
I
when
think
he
he's
doesn't
feeling
know.
he's feeling for the bit where the sound is coming from. I think you
I
can't
guess.
see it.
When a few inches from the wall, a loud, penetrating squeal and the scampering of small padded feet reverberated from the walls of the roughly hewn chamber.
And now it's a chamber.
Oh dear.
Yeah, well, I hate it to be a dungeon or a crypt
I'd
or
like to say that this was a rat, but actually it's probably going to be something else, like a four-headed Bavarian screecher or something.
It's gonna be a galumpa.
What the fuck's a
If it's
galumpa?
if it's a galumpa, there better not be any apples nearby.
A galumpa is a cross between a camel and a pig.
How the fuck does that work?
I don't know. I saw a
Does it
picture.
store
once, so-
truffles in its hump?
No, it like eats apples and sits on fish.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it just sits on both.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
true.
Grignr is going to do something.
Grignr threw his hands up to shield his face and flung himself backwards upon his buttocks.
Oh no, not a rat!
A fuzzy form bounded to his hairy chest, burying its talons in his flesh while gnashing towards his throat with its grinding white teethits.
What? It's sour, I think.
No, no,
No.
teethits.
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 Is that
Look.
how you use a semicolon?
No, it is
I've
not.
never used one. What's it like?
Actually, it can be used like that if you're
There's
doing.
no space.
There's no space, no. So actually, it's two eyes there, so it might as well be teethites.
Ah, teethites, the old like Pemunian like sort of cultists.
So wait
Yeah.
a minute, we have Numerous, they're all teethites. There we go. They're
Ah,
all.
they're teethite cultists.
They are. We're slowly piecing together.
Fuck.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Sour fetid breath, apparently.
Also, a rat with white teeth. That's rare.
Yeah, normally got sort of yellowy. It's fetid breath, scorching,
Scorching.
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 Scorching. Put those
Scorch.
together.
Yeah.
Scorching.
Scorching. You're right. Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. The squirming barbarians.
No, that's squeaming. There's
Oh,
no
is it
U
squimming?
there.
Oh, sorry. You're right. Yes. The
Squirming.
squirming barbarians, dilating nostrils. So it's supposed to be dilating. Yeah?
That is dilating.
But
That's
actually
actually.
dilating. Okay.
Oh god damn.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Grignr grappled with the lashing flexor muscles of the repugnant body of a gargantuan brown-hided
Now,
rat.
I'm sorry. I know D&D
Wait, that's-
size categories. Gargantuan.
Sorry, that
is-
isn't gargantuan. That's garganowan.
Ah, okay.
Oh shit, not
I was
Garganow.
about to go into a point about how gargantuan is used, but Garganown, that Garganuan,
Gargamel.
that's
No, not Caramel the Wizard.
drat, and triple drat. I cannot get Grignr. Meow.
Send a Garganown brown-headed
Let's just
rat.
go back to killing Smurfs, Azriel.
I wonder what the repugnant body of a garganown brown-headed rat looks like.
It's
I
actually
don't
not even
know.
a Garganown. It's a Garganuan.
I'm gonna have to try
Garganoon.
and draw this for the fucking picture for
It's a
this video.
Garganuan brown-hided rat.
But it's striving to hold its razor teeth from his juicy jugular
Ah.
as its beady grey organs of
Wait,
sight.
so it's trying its best not to bite his jugular.
Just fucking
It's
right
trying
eyes,
to-
you idiot!
It's trying not to bite his jugular, but it's going, must bite the jugular. No, must refrain. Must bite the jugular.
That's a lot of like jugular lust, but it's the beady grey organs of sight rather than eyes that are sort of worrying me slightly.
Oh,
you do not know
Tice,
they are. You do not know they are eyes. They might not be eyes.
At least they're not gems or whatever it was before.
No,
Ah,
there's
everyone-
gems right there.
Oh wait,
Oh.
sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
it's the
never
flaring
mind.
emeralds. Yeah,
Of its
What is
prey.
a flaring emerald.
I don't know.
You know what? You know why this thing is charging at him? Because its eyes are emeralds that are on fire.
I
Understandable.
think
I'd
that's
be pretty
Grignr's
freaked out.
emeralds.
Yeah.
I think it's to show that he's passionate.
You sure it's not his balls they're talking about?
I don't know.
I don't
What,
know.
Green balls? What? Why?
Yeah,
That's
gangrenous.
just weird.
Look. We've already gone into like
Fuck.
the word numerous.
Nerumius.
Yeah.
The
Denominus.
Rubius.
numeros. There we go.
Numerous. Oh,
Yes.
numerous. Yeah.
Yes.
And the Garganian.
The Gargnian, and this is page 35.
Yeah. By all means, take it away.
Oh, thank you. It actually looks like a sentence here. Taking hold of the rodent around its lean, growling stomach with both hands, it's a very hungry rodent, Grignr pried it from his crimson-rent breast, removing small patches of flayed flesh from his chest. You already mentioned chest, sort of, but fair enough. Also, the thing flayed it? Really?
I like to think that Grignr is this like 6-foot barbarian, like wrestling with this tiny little rat that's trying to have a go at it. Like, get off me! He's like holding its front paws with like his fingers. Like, come on, man.
The
Come on.
rat
well,
scratched
well,
its way
remember-
through granite. I think it's.
But it is only Garganuan.
It
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
sorry.
granite either. It was grantitite, please.
Oh, sorry.
And
Yeah,
it
it
was
scratched its
sandy.
way through
It was also
gantotite.
sandy. Removing small patches of flayed flesh from his chest in the motion between the squalid, black claws of the starving beast. Holding the rodent at arm's length, he cupped his right hand, Not right hand, right hand. He has
Oh,
this
yeah.
item with him called a right hand.
Yeah,
over
he
its
just let me
fro-
equip my right hand.
over its frothing face, contracting his fingers into a vice-like fist over the quivering head.
I like to think it's some sort of mutant ability. He constricting his finger.
Considering I can't read the A in the next word, it's going to be retaining his grip on the rat. Grigner flexed his outstretched arms while slowly twisting his right hand clockwise and his left hand counterclockwise motion. The rodent let out a tortured squall, drawing scarlet as it violently dug its foam-flecked fangs into the barbarian's sweating palm, causing his face to contort into an ugly grimace as he cursed beneath his breath.
What the fuck happened there? Look at
Oh,
Curse.
they hate when you curse beneath
Curse
your
is
brave.
squished
No, he
from the top.
He cast beneath
Oh,
his
yes, an
brain.
A.
Yeah,
you're right,
that's
an A.
that's squished from above, but beneath, right next to it, is squished from below. What the fuck happened to the typewriter there?
All I need to know is not only does he have a handy right-hand item, he also has Braith on hand.
Oh no!
Good old Braith, my reliable friend, like Numerosis.
He's just hiding behind Braith like his horse.
Braith, save me! I don't even exist. With a loud crack, the rodent's head parted from its squirming torso, sending out a sprinkling shower of crimson gore. You bleed blood, not gore.
Actually,
It's not like
wait, no, never mind. Fuck
and
it.
trailing a slimy string of disjointed vertebrae, snapping trachea. That is actually trachea.
Yeah, there's an A hidden in
esophagus,
there somewhere.
Esophagus and jugular. Disjointed hyoid bone, morose purple stretch hide, and blood-seared muscles. Okay, there is purple prose, and then there is purple prose for gore.
Why doesn't he just, instead of saying, like, with a loud crack, the little bastard exploded, that would have solved this
Because
that
actually,
entire
I like
life.
the idea that Grigner's got on his glasses and is dissecting this thing. And now we
He
have the
is very
disjointed
bored.
hyoid bone. The morose.
He's like that guy from Eternal Darkness. He slays it and starts doing an autopsy.
Yeah.
Well, look here, the fangs are real.
Flinging the broken body to the floor, Grigner shook his blood-streaked hands and wiped them against his thigh until dry, then wiped the blood that had showered his face and from his eyes. Where to? We don't know. Maybe he's run out of body parts. He's bathed in blood at this point. Again sitting himself upon the jagged floor, he prepared to once more revamp his glum meditations. The power of N.E. told himself that as long as he is still breathed the gust of life through his lungs, hope was not
As long as he
lost.
still breathed the gust of life.
Yes. He told him S to the power of E, oof, this, but found it hard to comprehend in his gloomy surroundings. Yet he was still alive, his bulging sinews at their peak of marvel, despite having eaten only nothing but slop for X amount of time.
Seriously, he reckons he's been in there like 3 or 5 days. He would not be at the peak of Marvel at this point.
Guard number 2. Yes, guard number 1. Is it really a good idea to feed this guy concentrated protein powder?
Yes, he just protein shake. Throw them in there, lads. Get
It's
them
not
Away,
like
you
Thanos.
fucker!
Grigner, we need you as swole as possible.
His struggling mind floating in a mirror of impressed excellence of thought.
I don't
Lamont-
believe this man is capable of impressed excellent of thought.
It's
Lalot
probably-
after plot sifted through his mind in energetic contemplati ons.
Maybe fucking check where the rat buried through the grey night, Grigner.
Then it hit him. Inuts may have passed in silent thought or he could not tell, but he stumbled at last upon a plan that he considered as holding a slight margin of plausibility. He might die in the attempt, but he knew he would not submit without a final bloody struggle. You're already covered in blood, it's absolutely fine.
Is that how you spell plausibility?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Is
yes, actually it
Is it?
is.
I
Yes.
would put an extra A in there. Maybe I am the thighs.
No. Plausibility. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, fuck me.
It was not a foolproof plan. What a shock, because you're a fool, Grigner. Yet it built up a store of renewed vortexed energy. Wow, he is summoning vortexes now
Oh, he's got another item.
over his overwrought soul.
It has a trademark.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
are you stealing things from Dark Soul Knight here?
Yeah, just crushed in his hands like.
Though he
I
might
feel more
perish in
power.
the execution of the escape. We get it. This might be dangerous, Grigner. He would. I mean, these guys are waffling more than the
Wait,
character.
is he not just gonna go through the hole the rat made?
I don't know. but
That hole
he's
is
wa-
never mentioned
He's
again, I
waffling.
think.
He's waffling
Oh.
more than Garrett and Golden Sun. Though he might perish in the execution of the escape, he would still be escaping the life of infinite torture in store for him.
Maybe
For
if
him.
the idiot had thought
For
of
him.
this before he
It's
surrendered.
Store for him.
Forum. Yeah, Thor.
Yeah,
It's like
Forum.
it's in store. It's Forum's store. There's a man called Forum.
This place is full of people that aren't saying anything.
What do you
Either-
think, Forum? Yeah, looks
Either
alright,
way,
man.
Either way, he would still cheat the gloating prince of
He's
the
a prince again.
succored of the succored revenge his sadistic mind craved so dearly. Could you try that sentence again, Grigna? This time with words that make sense. No. The guards would soon come to bear him off to the prince's buried mines of dread. How do you know this? You have no idea of the concept of time, Grigna.
Do they mind dread?
They do.
Yeah, you can get. It's like a regular mine. You just get it off the walls.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
it comes in like bar form. You like smelt things. You just hear.
You just smell
Smells
dread.
death.
You just hear screaming noises and pain.
Yeah.
That's why people like the dread blade. It's like it doesn't actually kill people, it just sort of goes.
Oh, it's made of dread.
but-
It's like
Yeah.
it's actually just a material like lead and
Yeah.
lead and
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
This is that this dread is actually like very minor dread. It's like, you have an overdue library book.
Oh god,
Yeah.
that is minor dread.
Yeah, giving him the sought after opportunity to execute his newly formulated plan. I hope this plan is just beat them up. Groping his way along the rough floor that he knows really well, Grigna finally found his tool in a pool of congealed gore, the carcass of the decapitated rodent. Please say you're going to kill
He's need
people
to
with a
beat someone with the
decapitated
rat.
tool that the very filth he had been sentenced to spawned. When the time came for action, he would have to be prepared, so he set himself to rending the sticky hulk in grim silence, searching by the touch of his fingertips for the lever to freedom. Is he
So
going to make
he's
a
just
lock?
sitting there fondling the dead rat while he's
I
waiting.
have made a lockpick out of a rat's. I don't know what bone this is.
It's so
is he
weird.
making a lockpick out of it?
He seems so incompetent at fighting. It's like it has to be really, really specific conditions for him to be able to fight anything. It's like he's unarmed, he's completely harmless. He can't fight the guards. I don't understand.
This guy has when things are desperate, he literally switches class from barbarian to rogue. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's just like-
oh, I fight. Things are desperate. Now I'm very, very wily for some reason. But fortunately for Rupert here, it is now a complete segue back to the altar.
Oh, fuck me. Up to the altar and be done with it, wench, offered a fidgeting shaman as he save he
Save.
No, you can't see it. I think it's Ave.
It's the ave of the female, a grim stare, accompanied by the wrinkling of his lips to a mirthful grin of delight. The girl burst into a slow, steady whimper, stooping shakily to her
Stooping.
knees,
Yep,
and
stooping.
cringing woefully.
No, woeful.
Woeful. Why? Woeful. Why?
Woefully. From the priest with both arms wound snake-like around the bulging jade's shin rising.
Bulging JJ.
That's
Jade, for when your jade is not jady enough.
You want that greener? Then get it with some JJ.
Buy it now at
Fuck's
all
sake.
good accordion bit stores.
shin rising before her scantily attired figure. Her face was redly inflamed from the salty flow of tears sprouting from her glassy, dilated eyeballs. They doesn't come out the eyeballs!
Also,
That's
her
fucking
eyeballs
gross,
are
what
made
are
of
you?
glass. Her
Yeah.
eyeballs are made of glass. You can't see.
Yeah, she's just dead. With short, heavy footfalls, the priest approached. Priest now.
Wait, that's not footfalls. That'd be footfalls.
Oh, sorry. With short, heavy footfalls, the priest approached the female, his piercing stare never wavering from her quivering young countenance.
I like the fact that these shaman priests have footfowls. I've heard about these legendary creatures.
Also, not being funny. We've had the, and I quote, the female for like 3 or 4 pages. We gave a guy who snuffed it himself on a like.
Agatha
on
needs to be named.
He got a name. This lady doesn't get
It's
a
like
name.
a horror movie. You fuck, you die. You get named in this, you die. Unless
Yeah,
you're
so-
Grigna.
I know
Halting-
Grigna's dying a slow death.
Yeah, halting before the terrified girl, he projected his arm outward and motioned her to arise with an upward movement of his hand. The girl's whimpering increased slightly, and she sunk closer to the floor rather than arising. What the fuck?
That is actually some sort of weird eldritch symbol rather than a T.
The Flickering torches outline her trim build with a weird ornate glow as it casts a ghostly shade dancing in horrid waves of splendor over smoothly worn whiteness of the marble-hewn altar.
This is so overwritten, it's so painful.
Yeah. He's not making any mistakes here, it angers me. The shaman's
Yeah,
lips...
it's actually reasonably competent, if a bit dull.
Yeah. The shaman's lips curled back further, exposing a set of blackened, decaying molars which transformed his slovenly grin into a wide, greasy arc of sadistic mirth.
Wait, how far back is he pulling his lips to show his molars off when he's smiling?
I don't know.
"Ugh,
Oh man, I'm so happy that all my teeth have rotted away.
I love my rotten teeth.
Oh,
I love the fact that I can't chew without pain.
I can't fucking taste anything but pus.
Ugh.
And
Steady.
alternately interposed into the female a strong sensation of stomach-curdling nausea. Have it as you will, female, gloated the enhanced priest. As he
How
read-
enhanced-
Power.
he's
Is he
had-
like priest
Basically,
plus
you know
one?
that basically an orb appeared from this foot fouls and he absorbed it and went power up.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just turns into like a fucking
I think
bear.
considering what he's doing, he's probably ate some Viagra.
Actually, no. Look at the next line and you will see exactly what's happened.
What the fuck? Gloated
As he-
the enhanced priest as he bent over at his waist, projecting his ape-like arms forward and
He
clasped
did
the feet.
absorb one of those orbs.
You know, Donkey Kong.
And clasped the female's slender arms with his hairy round fists. With an inward surge of his bicep, he harshly jerked the tumbling girl to her feet and smothered her salty wet cheeks to the mouldy touch of his decrepit, dull red lips. The vile stench of the Saman's hot, fetid breath overcame the nauseated female with deep, soul-searching searing sickness. Sorry, I need to. Causing
Yeah,
her
soul
to,
searing sickness, yeah.
yeah, causing her to wrench her head backwards and regurgitate a slimy orange-white stream of swelling gore over the richly woven purple robe of the enthused acolyte.
I kind of love that. He's like, give me a kiss, darling. And she goes,
Who the fuck
"Oh."
vomits straight upwards? Can
Maybe
you
people
do
retch
that?
vomit down,
Is that
trust me.
possible at all without choking?
Anything is
say upwards.
possible in the land of the accordions.
Fuck.
I guess if it had enough force, but normally it would just go back in your mouth and you'd sort of choke on it.
I guess. The priest's lips tremble with malicious rage as he removes his callous paws from the girl's arms and
And
replace them with them with tightly around her undulating neck, shaking her violently toned for it's the scene from Airplane. Calm the fuck down, woman.
yeah, this is a line of people get ready to like slap
I
her
am
and stuff.
bored of this. I will kill you now.
The girl gasped a tortured groan from her from her clamped lungs, her sea blue eyes bulging forth from damp sockets. Cocking her right foot backwards, she lashed it desperately outwards with the strength of a leashed it desperately outwards with the strength of a demon possessed, lodging her sandaled foot squarely between the shaman's testicles.
Nice. With like a bit of testicle torsion here.
You
Bam!
must have a really narrow foot to hit directly between the testicles.
Like a demon
Well, he hit, like,
possessed.
in the middle, like
Yeah,
her foot's like an inch wide.
Is there a point to this whole scene?
I don't know.
Just the whip.
The startled priest released his crushing grip, crimping his body over at the waist. I thought he was already leaning over.
was,
Overlooking,
now he's doubled
leaning
over.
over even more.
overlooking his recessed belly. Okay, so this guy has long gorilla arms, hairy, bald fists that are calloused, and he has a recessed belly,
It's now covered in puke.
and it's now vomited on, and he's got rotten teeth.
And
now he has no
now he's
balls.
got damaged balls.
And he's enthused and enhanced.
Power up.
Fuck. Open wide in a deep chasm?
Kahassim.
Kasim.
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 Like moccasins?
I don't know. I think it's another character. I think we
Oh,
have
I
the foot
see, okay.
fouls and Kasim.
A guy
I
just
mean-
bears himself
Hi,
in
I'm
the
Kasim.
background.
He's the brother of Sharon. He's gonna take you. Instead of like getting you over the water, he's gonna like put you on a bus or something.
Oh, I thought you Sharon some lady.
Unfortunately, the boat has been delayed, but there is a diversionary bus route.
There is a complimentary bus route run by my brother Kazim.
There will be one stop for toilet breaks by the Pit of Despair. There is only going to be cheesy biscuits and one pack of ready salted crisps. I've eaten them already. I'm sorry.
All the cups are made of dread. Only the purest.
The purest mild dread. We drink them again and drink them like, oh, this bus makes me a little bit nervous.
No, you drink it and he goes, this is a very disappointing drink.
His face flushed to a red shade of crimson.
To a rose red shade of crimson.
Red shade of crimson. I thought crimson was its own shade.
That seems very redundant.
Like a shade of the color it is already.
It's like a red shade of red.
Oh, I see.
So you go to crimson, and then you go to the subset of crimson, and there is rose red crimson.
It's like when you turn the heating up too much and then go down slightly.
It's like when you're a kid and you're trying to buy Warhammer paint and everything looks the same fucking color.
No, you
red or red. Oh,
which version of green do I want here?
Do I want green or snot green?
Okay, so
like grass green, orc green, like absinthe green.
His face flushed to a Reichland knob red shade of crimson, his eyelids fluttering wide with eyeballs protruding blindly outwards from their sockets to their outmost perimeters, while his lips quivered wildly about, allowing an agonizing wallow to gust forth from his breath, as his breath billowed from his burning lungs.
Can I shorten this?
Ouch.
Yeah.
He had a face of extreme agony as he went ag.
Like seriously, like the last paragraph here, you could just put as ow my balls.
Yeah.
No, but his eyes must bulging out. That doesn't happen very often.
I mean, he could just write basically like, dude got slapped in the balls, bent over like a deck chair, and had his eyes started watering. There we go. We solved
I think
this.
he's just watched Tom and Jerry or something, and he wants to try and.
I've never seen Tom and Jerry get hit in the balls. I gotta be honest.
Nah, but his eyes comes out. Come on.
That's true.
Anyway,
It's like, yeah.
His hand reached out, clutching his urinary gland. For fuck's sake.
His urinary gland.
How hard did she kick him? Like a demon possessed. My urinary gland.
Your extremely long and narrow foot has gone directly into my fucking kidney.
Your
below.
foot's got like my piss pipe.
Boys, be quiet.
The foot went so hard into his testicles that it went to his kidney.
So crimson orbs of sight and fucking urinary gland. Jesus Christ, Tice.
That's beautiful.
Oh no.
As his knees
wobbled rapidly for about a few seconds, then buckled. Rapidly about for a few seconds, then buckled, causing the ruptured shaman to collapse. Collapse in an eight-huddled mass to the great granite pavement, rolling helplessly about in agony.
Okay, let's summarize this. And then the lady kicked him in the testicles. He clutched his testicles, went, Jiminy Cricket, this hurt, and fell to his knees.
She ruptured his testicles.
Remarking about his kidneys for some reason.
Fuck,
Wow.
I can't go on.
It's your turn.
All right, I'll pick up the slack. The pathetic screeches of the shaman, grovelling in dejected misery upon the hand-hewn granite, laid pavement.
It's always fucking hand-hewn. That's the third time he said that.
Well, I have to say,
It's like you gotta make sure it's not made in a fucking factory.
The accordions pay extra for handcrafted goods.
How else would it be made?
The accordion hand-hewn granite sale. Sale ends Sunday, starts again Monday.
They don't have fucking factories for this. It's all hand-hewn.
I think you'll find that this is one of those like medieval settings where they have like future tech somewhere.
Oh, probably.
Oh, you mean like a concrete layer?
Yeah.
On the Morius. He probably has a fucking laptop.
He literally runs a manufacturing granite hewn thing. He's like, I don't understand. Nobody wants this. It's so much cheaper.
The Moria scheming to get all of his work into cultist caves.
I'm sorry. People just want hand hewn. Hand hewn.
That's all they ever want these days. Where were we?
Worn smooth
by countless hours of arduous sweat and toil, a welter of ichor oozing through his clenched hands.
What is he made of?
That's when he got smacked in the urinary gland. It's like, oh,
yeah, and he ruptured, no less.
Yeah, because humans are full of ichor.
Attracted the perturbed attention of his comrades from their fetid Voted. Ulations?
What
Voted
the fuck is
ulation.
voted ulations?
Well, let me have a look and see if the word voted is a word.
Voted is a word, I'm pretty sure, but...
Voted. Yeah, it's an adjective. Smelling extremely unpleasant. So actually,
It's
it
kind of like a
might be
variation
right.
of fetid, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're
Fetid.
ulations. Ulation. That has no proper meaning.
Really? I think I've
Ulation.
heard it before.
Okay, it may be a very old. No, I'm looking up. It says.
Elation?
No,
No.
we have to make something up.
Shit.
So a smelly party?
Ulation.
We're having like some sort of like culty party in the corner.
Basically, it's the barbarian equivalent of like Wii Sports.
What, they're all like waving around terror sticks, like the mild dread.
Yeah, they're playing
You're
like
gonna miss the ball. Oh,
dread golf.
I-
You're not very good at
Fuck.
this.
you're gonna get double bogey. Oh no, I'm mildly dreaded by this.
Oh no.
Anyway,
With a controller next to it made out of mild inconvenience.
ah,
Oh, I
Just
dropped it. That's so inconvenient.
always
Mad
out of
Catz
range
one.
when I want to swing.
Oh, that's so annoying. The actions of this rebellious wench. I mean, is she really rebellious wench? He was choking her out, and then she smacked him one.
Wait,
Because she
when I
didn't
signed up for this,
kneel,
I
I
didn't
think.
know that I was going to be strangled.
Yeah. This rebellious wench bespoke of the credence of an unheard of sacrilege.
He just said that before when Grigna talked back to the fucking emperor. They bring a fucking idiot, a goddamn yokel before the emperor, and he doesn't use proper etiquette, it's like unheard
I
of.
think in the Norogodian Empire, everyone just accepts things like, you shall be locked away. Well, all right then.
All right.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
he's-
well,
Talk
okay.
back. That is sacrilege.
Blasphemy!
Oh, I'm only surprised that didn't happen sooner.
Says here,
Never
you're a
bef-
fucking heretic.
Never before in a lost maze of untold eons had a chosen one dared to demonstrate such blasphemy in the face of the cult's idolic deity.
Okay.
These
All right.
people have no idea how cults work, do they?
Also, no one had dared before to what? Be a bit upset about being sacrificed. Is this a new thing? We're gonna stab the shit out of you. Is that cool? Yeah, I'm good. Oh, well, thanks. Oh.
Especially
yeah.
if they just picked her up from the fucking tavern. I mean, if it's someone who's raised to be sacrificed or
Hey
knows
there.
beforehand.
Hey there.
Yeah.
Hey there, would you like a drink? How would you like to be sacrificed for our idol god made of jade?
Oh, I
shit.
don't know. We'll stab you with a dagger of elation. Oh, well, by all means then.
Actually, unfortunately, it's a dagger made entirely of dread.
Ah.
It's gonna be really painful.
Oh, I'm so worried about this. Oh,
I really hate wielding this blade. Oh, we're gonna lose this fight. Maybe? No? Oh, okay, one.
the girl cowered in unreasoning terror. Is that unreasoning?
I don't think it's
Why is she so
unreasonable.
terrified now? Is he that horrifying to look at when he's been ruptured?
Maybe it's
She had the
because
vomit of fear.
maybe it's because of the pop she felt on her foot.
Could be.
Like a
Or
tomato
an
going.
uncomfortable squelch sound instead, just sort of like mush.
Yeah,
Oh god, she managed to get her foot stuck, just like try and pull it out.
it's not alright.
Helpless in the face of the emblazoned acolyte's rage, her orchid.
Orchid,
It's orchid, isn't it?
orchid. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
orchid.
the
Yeah,
plant.
like the plant rather than orchard, like the
I
farm.
prefer, farm here. This
Her
fantastic.
farm tussled face smothered
smothered, yeah.
smothered betwixt her bulging bosom. Oh wait, I thought. Hold on. Bulging bosom. I'm pretty sure she said she was quite thin up here somewhere.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
is
but
thin with a bulging bosom.
yeah,
we
she's got
we
large
Conan now.
busts.
She's like an inch wide in the waist and like huge breasts. Physics. All right, where are we? Sorry, I've lost the boobs. Where they
She
at?
has hid her face between
Third
the
line
tits.
of that little segment you're just starting on.
Is that possible,
Oh, yes,
by the way?
okay. What?
Hiding your face behind between your tits.
Between your boobs. I guess if you were really really busty, you could sort of hold them up and stick your face down. Yeah, like, that works.
Yeah, but it's not like you're a fucking ostrich. You can't just slam your head down there and just.
Your neck does move a bit though. You can hoist them up. Like if you had a table, you could rest them on there and
I
sort of
don't
stick
know.
it in between.
I think if it's one of those, those tribes that put those
Gentlemen.
discs around their fucking heads, necks, and then
Gentlemen,
they take that off.
Gentlemen, I believe this segue is detracting from this literature.
Oh, sorry, you're quite right.
Oh,
You're right.
sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. She shut her curled, lashed. Well, What?
A curled lashed tightly. She has a curled lashed with her.
What the fuck?
Look,
Curled lashed is
Look, Grigna has a right hand and his
soul thing.
and his soul thing. She has a curled lashed.
Curled lashed tightly.
Nice.
Hoping to open them and find herself. She's trying to open her chest up and sort of see.
Open her curled lash.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. And find herself awakened from this morbid nightmare.
Nope.
Yet the hand of destiny decreed her no such mercy. The antagonized pack of leering shaman converging
No,
tensely.
leering shaman. It's a leering singular shaman. A pack of leering singular shaman.
I thought shaman and shaman were similar.
Yeah, I think they're both. They're both
Yeah, I think
singular.
it counts as single and pure. You don't have shamans, do you?
Yeah,
I'm
you can
pretty
be
sure
a
you
there can be a lady shaman as well. It's not actually
Yeah.
man at the end of the word.
Actually, it's shamans. The plural for shaman.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, that is horrible.
The reason
Alright,
why
fair
it is shamans and not shaman is because it's not a word that was derived from or related to man at all.
Although we give Tice a lot of shit. We've looked a lot of this up on the internet. He did not have that option.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but the bastard had a thesaurus with him. He could have.
Let's talk
I
more
think
about
that's where it went wrong.
Let's talk more about the curled lash of Destiny.
Oh, yeah,
Hand of
sorry.
Destiny being like, so, Hand of Destiny, is she gonna
Okay,
die?
so-
Yes.
The shaman. Sorry, the leering shaman. Shamans are
Yeah.
converging tensely upon her prostrate.
Prostrate, yeah. Prostrate form.
Yeah, prostrate form. Were entangled all too lividly in the grim web of reality. What does that even mean?
Lividly, I was like,
Hand of Destiny. What on earth does this mean? I've
fuck?
no idea.
Are they in the grim web of reality? The fact they are now aware of the fact that one of their mates has got like his balls busted and they're all upset
think she
because they
wanted
tried
to
to stab
imagine
him.
I hope
herself
this is
away
like
from there.
I hope this is like a Matrix reference when the Matrix doesn't exist and Morpheus looks at this and goes, "No man, I want to get plugged back in. Plug me back in. If this is reality, plug me back in."
plug me, peg me,
not
peg
like
me,
this.
please, Neo, peg me.
Not like this.
What?
Shuddering from the clammy touch of the shaman as they grappled.
Isn't there two M's in clammy?
Clammy.
No, that is claimy.
Okay.
You're right, sorry, my mistake. Shuddering from the clammy touch of the shaman as they grappled with her supple form, hands.
Wait, is his hands clams?
Claimy. They're claimy.
They're clammy hands.
Yeah, he has clams.
He's
for hands.
got a clammy touch. No, he's not a clam.
Wouldn't there be two M's if it was like a clammy touch? But
No, this is a clammy touch. If he was a clammy touch, you'd have two M's.
fuck me.
Yeah, I know. Sorry,
Let's get back
grappled
to
with her
grappling.
supple form, hands wrenching at her slender arms and legs in all directions, her bare body being molested in the midst of a labyrinth of orange smudges,
Wait, what?
purpled satin, and mangled skulls?
So these people have mangled skulls.
What the fuck?
Maybe
is
it's why they're cultists.
What are the
My
orange
lives
smudges?
are eternal pain.
Shadowed in an eerie crimson glow, her confused head reeled, then clouded in a mist of enshrouding ebony as she lapsed beneath the protective sheet of unconsciousness to a land peach and resign.
Also, what the fuck? What are the orange smudges? Did they have avocados?
No, I think they just have
Apricots,
lots
apricots,
of
sorry.
fake suntan. Lots of fake suntan.
Oh, I see. It's like
It's the
someone...
only way to protect from the energy of Jade.
Fuck's sake.
Oh goddamn Jade.
Peach and resigned. What does that mean?
Do you want to go from 6 or should I carry on for a little bit?
I don't know. How are you feeling?
I'll do a couple of paragraphs then. Why not?
Sure.
Chapter 6. Take hold of this rope, said the first soldier, and climb out from your pit, slut.
Well, they're talking to Greg now.
Your presence is requested in another far deeper hell. This deepest, darkest pit of doom is not quite deep enough for you,
You know what?
Brigner.
These are people that go, "Hey man, you know this oubliette? Yeah, we can make an even oubliette."
Yeah. Like the
Brigner
the
slipped
nth
his
power.
right hand
Juliet.
to his thigh, concealing a small It's supposed to be opaque, right? But it says opaque.
Yes, it's
That's-
opegu.
It's oh yeah, small opaque object beneath the folds of the G-string wrapped about his waist.
Yeah, he's wearing a G-string around his waist.
You ain't gonna hide a fucking rat in that G-string, mate.
I think he is hiding the world's smallest
Just
shiv.
stuffs it in the front. Is that
Why
a
does-
rat in the
why
front
does
of your
he
pouch?
need
I have
that?
no, it's my penis.
I don't
think
understand why he needs that. Why can't he just beat people with his hands?
Look, when in desperation, he switches to being a rogue.
Oh
He has
yes.
sneak attack.
Oh yes.
Ah, yes.
Can you imagine that looking at him? There's just this decapitated rat sticking out the front of his G
Are you trying to smuggle something out of your oubliette? No.
No.
All
No,
right,
I can see that's not your penis. No, that's indeed my penis. It just happens to look like a what was it? A gargantuous rat.
Like a gore encrusted rat.
A
bitch.
gargantuan.
A gargantuan rat.
Oh, yes.
Oh well, in that case, come on then. Sorry. Where are we?
Brine Walls.
Yeah. No, Brian Wells.
Brine Wells, yeah.
Brian Wells swelled in. Wait,
Isn't
Brian Wells
Wells a game
like a well of
developer?
tears. Okay, I can see that.
Brine Wells.
Problem is, Brian Wells makes you sound like a tuna can. Anyway, Brian Wells swelled in Grigner's cold, jade, squinting eyes.
Stop! He is magically conjuring up brine water in massive quantities from those wells that have jutted
Quick,
out of his
use it to
eyes.
store fish.
I was more scared of the lady
we
who
are
shot
saved!
tears out her eyeballs. That's not
Oh, yeah,
where
that's
the
a good
ducks
point.
are. That's...
Also, these
Ugh.
things also, squint jade. What is it with jade in this kingdom?
It's because he has green eyes. He's a ginger with green eyes.
So they literally...
Oh, we got some good stuff coming up though. Which is his eyes, which grown accustomed to the gloom of the Stygian pools of ebony, engulfing him.
The
Sorry,
black pools of black.
Yeah, very much. This is a dark room of darkness. Well, how dark is it? Extremely.
Very dark. On a scale of 1 to dark, it's dark.
You can't see shit in there, Captain. Get your ass in.
We got shades of red, but we got one
We're-
kind of dark.
We're a B-Daz led.
What the fuck?
I think we're supposed to be bedazzled.
No,
I
it's
see.
as lead.
We're B-Daz led. Oh, B-Daz led. It's a mate of like the other guys.
Oh, it's kind of like
wow.
in the.
Don't leave me here, Grigna!
It's kind of like in the Iliad, where if someone is good in combat, it's because Zeus is guiding their weapon. Here, Bedas is leading.
Yeah, B-Daz led their weapons to victory.
Yeah, the fucking
Oh, Bedas, we have not prayed to you before, because you are a silly god.
Bedas is with him. I think he might be insane.
And blinded by flickering,
Yep, flicker.
flickering radiance cast forth by the second soldier's resin torch.
Resin torch.
Yeah, go on, knock yourself out, mate.
Hey,
Excellent.
you do resin. Resin is good for torches.
Yeah, what about the flickering?
Yeah, well, only
What?
resin torches will flicker roaring.
Yeah, well, I guess.
Tightly gripped in the second soldier's right hand, opposite the intermittent torch, which is a little apparently not as good,
It's a
was
torch
a large,
that's there sometimes.
was a
Sometimes
large
it
double-
isn't.
It just vanishes. Poof.
was a large double-edged axe, a long leather wound-oakened handle transfixing the center of the weapon's iron head, adorning the torsos, plural, of both of the sentries were thin yet sturdy. That is meant to be hauberks.
The bee's
Unfortunately, they are hauberks.
They're hauerks
Hauberks.
gone.
Hauberks.
with the breastplates.
Yes. They're breet plates. The breet plates of which woven of tightly hemmed twines of reinforced silver braiding. Why are you wearing silver on your breet plate?
90% of this entire damn story is someone describing what someone fucking looks like.
It is basically costume porn, yeah. I mean,
It
why
is
are
costume porn.
Why are they wearing sturdy hauberks, but they've ruined the breet plates with silver? Cupping the soldiers' feet, were not wearing, of course, but cupping them delicately, were
Oh.
thick leather sandals. Wound
Fuck's sake.
about their shins to 2 inches below their knees. Wrapped about their wrists were wide satin girdles with slender bladed poignards dangling loosely from them, the hilts of which featured scarlet-encrusted gems, because of course gems in the land of Accordia, rested upon the manes of their heads, and reaching midway to their brows were smooth copper morions. Okay, I've got to look up what a morion is.
I think that's where you go to throw something into
I
the
know.
fires of Mount Doom.
A morion is a type of open helmet used in the middle 16th to early 17th century. It's actually a helmet. It looks
Interesting.
stupid, but it's a helmet.
It's a helmet on someone's head in this story. It is.
Spiraling the lower portion of the helmet were short, up-curved silver spikes. Now that is silly, considering I've seen the helmet. While a golden...
Jesus.
Jesus.
Cat gets fed.
Unfortunately, Bedaz was not happy with that, apparently. While a golden hump spired from the top of each bass net. See, now we're on the bass net. I mean,
Is this
first
some
we were
Gibson
in the...
shit?
I don't know. Beneath their chins, wound around their necks, and draping their clad shoulders dangled regal purple satin cloaks, which flowed midway to the soldiers' feet. Hand over hand, feet braced against the walls of the enclosure, huge Grigna ascended from the mouldering.
Why did they have the royal guards come down into the dungeons to transfer prisoners? I don't understand.
Huge Grigna ascended from the mouldering depths of the forlorn abyss, his swelled limbs stiff due to the boredom of aimless inactivity, compounded by the musty atmosphere, a jagged granite protuberance against his body craved for action.
What the fucking hell? This entire sentence I don't understand.
I'm sorry. This makes perfect sense. His swelled limbs stiff due to the boredom of an aimless inactivity compounded by
when you read something,
atmosphere, a jagged granite protuberance against his body crave for action.
You know when you read something, you don't take a single word of it in.
You just did that, didn't you?
I'm looking at it. I'm just like.
Okay, so his muscles are blue balling. That much I understand. It's like because he's done nothing for a while, he's ready to move. Okay. But what the fuck with the granite protuberance?
You know that every time that was meant to be like wound, not wound, but I thought it was funnier to say it as wound, by the way.
I saw.
Just so you know. It doesn't matter. I just thought I'd mention that wound makes it funnier.
Well, people are obviously following the text while we read this.
The opportunity now presenting itself served the purpose of oiling his rusty ints and honing his dulled senses.
It doesn't take long.
Ho braced.
Oh yeah, Ho braced himself. Who is Ho?
Ho is the slut.
Oh yes.
Facing the second soldier, the sentry's stature was wildly exaggerated in the glare of the flickering crisette cupex in his right fist.
Christ.
His eyes were wide open in a slightly slanted owlish glaze, enhanced in their sinister intensity by the hawk-billed curve of his nose and pale yellow peak of his cheeks. "Place your hands behind your back," said the second soldier as he raised his axe over his right shoulder blade and cast it at a waving glance. "We must bind your wrists to parry any attempts at escape. Be sure to make the knot a stout one, Broig."
Oh
right.
no, he's got a name.
He's got a name.
Yep, we wouldn't want our guest to take a leave of our guidance.
I love the generic guard number 1 and 2. Like, he's got a name, but like...
Yeah, guard
no
1
else
and
got
Broig.
a name. Ho got a name and he's not even here. Broig grasped Grigna's left wrist and reached for the barbarian's right wrist. Grigna wrenched his right arm free and, redacted, sweet fell...
That might be an F, that might be swiffled.
No. There is a massive gap where a word used to be. So, and redacted, we don't know.
That's a tiny 7 in Swywold, I think.
Swy 7 veld to face Broig. Reach beneath, that is one word. Reach beneath his loincloth with his right hand. Tiny upside down T. He sentry grappled at his girdle for the sheath dagger, but recoiled short of his intentions as Grigna's right arm, redacted, swept to his gorge. The soldier went limp, his bobbing eyes... We don't know what happened to him! He just
Wait, hold on. So, I can only assume that he pulled the dead rat out of his penis pouch and slapped him with it.
No. His right arm, redacted, swept to his gorge. It's so horrible, we never get
He had to remove it.
Like,
Maybe
the other
he's
guy...
just really scared of rat bits and fainting.
The other guy is like, "Oh, Jiminy!"
Jesus.
The soldier went limp, his bobbing eyes rolling beneath fluttering eyelids, a deep welt across his spouting gullet.
He could at least have killed the unnamed one first.
Without lingering to observe the result of his efforts, Grigna dropped to his knees. Why? The second soldier's axe cleft over Grigna's head in a blizz of silvered ferocity, severing several scarlet locks from his scalp.
Oh, he ducked.
Coming to rest in... No, he went to his knees. He didn't duck.
It's kind of a duck, I guess.
He went to his knees directly onto, like, granite concrete. The crack!
Coming to rest in his fellow's stomach. The iron head crashed through mail and flesh with splintering force, spilling a pool of crimson entrails over the granite paving. Not the handmade granite paving!
That's not handmade. It doesn't say.
Hand-hewn.
We just have to presume it is.
No. They would advertise it if it was.
Oh, true.
This is store brand.
Also, notice the weird creature in the bottom right which just says "eek"?
What? Yes.
Is that supposed to be the rat?
What the
I don't
fuck
know.
Is that? It's some sort of unibrow, non-Disney cartoon, early 80s whatever thing.
Before the
Yick.
sentry could wrench his axe free from his comrade's carcass, he found Grigna's massive hands clasped about his throat, choking the life from his clamped lungs. With a zealous grunt, the accordion flexed his tightly corded biceps, forcing the grim-faced soldier to one knee. The sentry...
Pie lunge.
Yeah,
no, it's a U.
that's a one. The sentry one-unged his right fist into Grigna's face, digging his grimy nails into the barbarian's flesh.
Look at the next line.
Ejaculating a curse.
Hold on a sec, guys. Fuck you. Yeah, ejaculated a curse, hey. That's horrible.
Ejaculating a curse through rasping teeth, Grigna surged the bulk of his weight forward, bowling the besieged soldier over onto his back. The sentry's arms...
What?
Look, after you ejaculate a curse, this is what must
You
happen.
bowl a besieged soldier.
Yeah.
What the
The
fuck?
sentry's arms collapsed to his thigh, shuddering convulsively, his bulging eyes staring blindly from a bloated cherry-red face.
Okay, so
okay.
One guy got killed by like penis rat. The other one got killed by ejaculating curse.
So besieged is to surround and harass. Grigna manages to surround a fucking man solo
And harass it.
and then bowl him.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Rising to his feet, Grigna shook the
Blood.
blood from his eyes. That must be what happens when you ejaculate a curse. Blood appears.
Oh god. This is getting quite gribbly.
Ruffling his surly red mane as a brush fire swaying to the nighttime breeze.
Fuck's sake.
I cannot believe he has killed this man and blood is everywhere. And he goes, L'Oreal.
And his mane is surly.
Yep. Stooping over,
It's like
stooping
bit of
over
a
the
bit of Mrifk.
stooping over the sprawled corpse of the first soldier, Grigna retrieved a small white object from a pool of congealing gore, snorting a gusty billow of mirth. Don't do that. That's unhealthy for you, Grigna. We all know about taking mirth.
Yeah.
He once more,
Not even once.
he once more concealed the tiny object beneath his loincloth, the tediously honed pelvis bone of the broken rodent.
Nice.
Turning his attention towards the second soldier, Grigna turned to the task of attiring his limbs. To move about freely through the dim recesses of the castle would require the grotesque garb of its soldiery.
Dun dun dun.
Wait, I
July's-
thought Grigna was like 8 million foot tall. I was
That's
gonna fit into
okay.
the guard's
This-
armor.
One size fits all. It's all made of latex.
Oh, that's alright.
Mr.
Oh god, imagine
Squeaks.
him squeaking his way through the castle.
Squeaks everywhere, covered in blood that was ejaculated via a curse.
Goddamn blood ejaculation.
No.
Utilizing the silence and stealth acquired in the untamed climes of his childhood, Grigna slink through the twisting corridors and winding stairways. Grigna slink. Then he slinks. Lighting his way with the confiscated torch. It's contraband, this torch. Of his dispatched guardian.
Fuck's sake.
Knowing where his steps were leading to, how? Grigna meander aimlessly in search of an exit from the chateau's confines.
Grigna meander.
Like, Grigna slink, Grigna meander, Grigna lose all concept of the English language.
Grigna ejaculate curse.
Power of tea, wild blood coursing through his veins, yearned for the undefiled freedom of the livid wilderness lands. I don't know if we want to continue on to chapter.
Nah, we are at an hour. This is a good
Now we can leave it on the picture of Eek and me mentioning wound instead of wound, because to be honest, it doesn't make any more sense.
I guess. What the fuck should I draw for this one?
Well, to be honest.
Oh god. Oh, sorry. Scroll down 2 pages. Look at the picture.
Oh, it's the. Oh, look at her busts.
Look at her face.
That is not a face.
Look at her leg. It's not. It's. I get it's trying to be perspective, but the leg goes really big and then really shriveled and
no,
tiny.
I have a question for you. Start with her left arm. Her left arm. Look at where the hair is. Look at how that arm bends.
But okay, this explains a lot. This explains how she managed to get her foot up his piss pipe. Look at the size of it.
Oh, she has one toe.
Her right foot is
She has
a pipe
one toe
cleaner.
on each foot. Jeez, fuck me.
So I have some bad news for you.
Yes?
There is still much more of the adventures of Grigna to go.
There
Grigna
sort of
and
is.
his massive group of hallucinated friends in his tiny, massive dungeon that he spent 10 minutes / years in. What did he even like? I mean, whatever he used that pelvis from the rat. I mean, it was so horrible. It was redacted.
Yeah, I don't like to think about it.
Nobody likes to think about it.
I do.
No, there's only one person that you can pray to when that happens.
Besled?
Bedazzled.
No, Bedazzled. Yeah.
You need to pray to Bedazzled.
No, it's Bedaz. Bedaz leads.
Bedaz leads. We need to pray to Bedaz.
Yeah.
I use my sword and I pray to Crom. Grigna goes, I pray to Bedaz and use rat pelvis. And
And if you don't want to count me, the hell with you.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger's just like, my God.
I have been scheming laboriously. You will not beat me. Fuck me.
Right.
I need to go bleach my brain or something.
You need to bleach your brain.
Yeah.
Clearly what we need to do is write the sequel.
Nah. The guy that wrote this died. That's an omen.
We're all going to go someday. It's just a question of if we
but I'm
go.
not gonna go having written the sequel to Eye of Grigna.
Instead, you will go redacted by means of that Elvis.
It's okay, Bedaz took him.
What, Van Pelvis? Who the fuck is that?
Van Pelvis.
Yeah,
You've never heard of the great Accordion
hunter.
warrior Van Pelvis.
Yeah. Trust in me, he says.
That is the man that Grigna aspires to be, Van Pelvis.
He would know what to do in this situation.
He has an entire armory of rat pelvises.
I
He
don't think
once
you
sat
should
in
have
the
called
dark
me.
Stygian abyss for 20 years.
I am Van Pelvis.
Or was it
you
5
shouldn't
minutes?
have.
We're not sure.
Fucking. Oh, Jesus Christ. GN, man.
Later.